Hello friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Rocky Mountain Gardens. And I welcome anyone who's stopping by for the very first time. You might consider subscribing or giving me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I thank you for that. So today, guys, I want to dedicate this video to my dear friend Janet, who passed away recently, and she, I'm sure, is with the Lord in heaven. She was a strong believer and is in no more pain. She had ovarian cancer, and as you all know, that's a very awful way to go. And she only lived 6 months after her diagnosis. So we're all quite sad and mourning her loss, although we want to praise the Lord for bringing her home to heaven. So on that note, I want to say that I have been busily decorating my home for the fall, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a nice tour of the lower level of my home, and I hope you enjoy it and it brings a little happiness to your life and gives you ideas for decorating too. So let's just jump into the tour. Okay, well, since I don't always show this little hallway in my main floor, let's go ahead and take a look. I have a basket, sort of a tobacco basket style wreath here. This is the door that goes out to my garage. And also to the left over here is my powder room, where I like to decorate for the seasons also with a few little things, some autumn colors, and some florals over here, as well as the sink area. I think it's just festive when guests come over to use the restroom to have it decorated somewhat. So let's walk out to my kitchen and library spaces. We'll start over here in the kitchen. And of course, more fall colors are being shown. Over here on my green cabinet, I have a cloche with a New World Holy Scriptures, Book of the Holy Scriptures, and I just like it in that cloche. It's a pretty green color that contrasts with the bright oranges, reds, and yellows of the fall. A little sign there. One of my thrifted clocks with a cute little owl and a candle to brighten up the space. You know, fall for me is the time of candles and fires. Over here on my fridge, I have some of my amber bottles with little, they sort of look like black-eyed Susans there. I like that small vignette. Coming here is my coffee station. I'm sure you've seen it before. And of course, I change it out to the seasons. And I always like to add apples to my fall decorating. I think they are very much autumn fruits. Here is a hanging that I got thrifting also, with all these darling little animals from the British Isles. Swinging around over here to my stove area, I have my copper tea kettle, a little fox towel, and in this little corner, it's a small nook, I've placed some of my vintage cookbooks, some Crocs, in this beautiful transferware piece, this platter that I found thrifting also. Love it. Stepping back, this is my sink area. You've seen it before, I'm sure. And I have a little hand towel here that has birds on it. You know, they're one of my favorite little animals in the garden. And over here to the left, I have another vignette featuring apples and pumpkins. A nice thrifted wreath right there in the background. And here, guys, I got this interesting, very ornate vintage frame thrifting, and I put an apple tree, actually a vintage print of an apple tree inside the frame. I think it's pretty cute. What do you guys think? And then over here on my island, I have some fragrant candles burning with those autumn smells. I found this pretty bowl, wooden bowl here, kind of primitive looking, that I found thrifting and grabbed it right up. And of course we have some seasonal decor in it. This is my hanging rack on the side of my island that I added a bit ago. What do you think of my carpets here? They're very colorful, but I do really like them for sort of making my kitchen more colorful in that boho way. Now, most of you have seen over here my reclining chairs that are so comfy for reading. Up here is my bottle collection. Everything is thrifted, of course. Let's come over here to see what I did up on this small black shelf. And I have some books. Books everywhere. That is so true in my home. Books I'm in the middle of reading there on that small table. And then over here by my fireplace on the hearth, I have an arrangement that I did that includes some apple branches for that apple theme added to fall. And a very primitive chicken that I just adore. I think she's just delightful. I think it was handmade. And of course I found it thrifting. On this side, I did a small vignette with all of my sisal foxes. What do you guys think? Don't they look cute grouped together like this with a wreath in the background? And on my mantle, I have this sign that fits perfectly. A lantern, a berry wreath, and a golden mirror. And of course up here is my favorite wreath that I made. It has those autumn colors also. Looks so pretty. I have a very tall ceiling here, as you can see, and it really fills up that space. Now moving over here to this small table, little side table that I refinished also. It was that orange colored pine that I just don't care for at all, and I painted it black and distressed it, so it works really well here in my library. This print of my eagle. And up here is a painting that I found thrifting, and I redid the frame for it. So the frame kind of went along with the colors in the painting. Now, On this side wall here that is the main part of my library collection, I've just added little pumpkins here and there, bringing out that orangey color especially for fall. And my table has a little bit of an apple theme with this square scarf here in the center of it, a bowl of apples in one of these Watts bowls. Over here there's a small one as well with a red apple shining in it, and another owl. Aren't owls perfect for fall season? I just love his little glasses. He sort of looks like Harry Potter to me. And then here I have a print of apples as well, and a little plate with fall colors and ducks swimming right here on this small bookcase. This wall goes up higher here with my clock, some plates and some artwork, and this little piece that I refinished a ways back. You might have seen me do that in a Flipping Friday. So friends, I'll give you an overall look. Oh, I forgot to mention too, up here above my bookcase is this picture of horses that used to be lower down before I created this bookcase in the niche here. But I was out antiquing with friends. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but while I was antiquing, I found these 2 hand-painted trays and put them on either side of the horse's picture. And I think they look really good up there. Do you like it too? So I'll stand back here to give you a full view of this room. I don't know about you, but when I'm watching videos of people on other YouTube channels, I like to get a full look at the room. You know, not only close-ups, but the full effect of that room and how it looks put all together. I'm pretty happy with this decor this year. Okay, well, let's move now into my dining room and the living room. Let's walk into my dining room first. And I want to stand back and let you see the sparkle and shine of the candles. Doesn't that just make your heart so happy? Guys, I have this awesome swan. Try to give you a close-up of her that I've filled with florals and pumpkins nearby. My daughter gave me this for Mother's Day. You might have heard me say that before, but what a special present it was. I just love it because I am a big fan of swans, in case you didn't know. So over here, I'm going to give you a view from this direction also, since I really love the way my table turned out this year, especially using the swan as a centerpiece. Here's my large mirror on this wall here with my thrifted wreath that I showed in a haul recently. And oh my, it is just tremendous. I just love my table. I hope you like it too. Looking over this way, I have a large floral arrangement in my ice cream bucket that you see down there. I redid it. It was a very orange color, so I sort of stained it with a homemade stain to have a darker brown color and painted that handle. And here's my Aunt Marie's clock that I always show on my tours, along with a little owl standing there guarding it. Down below are some pumpkins, and oh my gosh, I always forget the English word for that little animal. In German, he's called an eagle, but you know, he's that little animal that rolls into a ball. I'll put it up here on the screen when I remember it. And we can't forget that Thanksgiving is coming up, so I have my turkey on this trunk. Now over here on this cabinet behind my couch, I have, it's a little hard to tell, but orange and one green candle in the center and 2 orange candles. My little fall welcome sign. Some more fall florals. You just can never have too many fall florals at this time of year. That's my thought. Here's another cute little owl and a fall colored teapot from my collection. Over here, as you walk in the front door, this is what you see. A tobacco basket with a fall wreath and my thrifted vintage mirror with a box, a wooden box actually, of flowers on this really nice bench that I was able to thrift also. Over here, of course, is my creamer collection with another fall wreath. And also I have to share the top of my hutch. I have a swan up there. Let's go closer so you can see it better. She's a white swan with a checkered bow in orange. And then we have some other fall leaves here across the front of the hutch. Over on this side is my collection of oil lamps that I keep there most of the year. And then we'll come down here to see what I put on my shelf. I have a little scarecrow there with an antler that I found actually antiquing. Silver plates in the back. This is a Norman Rockwell plate of one of his paintings. And my little robin with her red breast sitting on a tree branch. So here's the overall look at that shelf for you. And we'll stand back and have another look at my table since I'm so proud of it. And I just love it so much. All right, let's walk into the living room. I'm going to turn right here to share with you a couple things by my front door. This is sort of my entryway, such as it can be. I think I've mentioned before that this small piece of furniture is actually a humidor. And in case you're not familiar with that term, humidors were used to store cigars and tobacco in. Back in the olden days, as you can imagine. Now over here on my little shelf at the entry, I have a basket with flowers, more pumpkins, a little truck carrying pumpkins, and down here is a little girl's dress that belonged to my daughter when she was quite small. Of course, she's 36 years old now. Grown out of it, of course. I'm just sharing with you a gander at my gallery wall here, which you probably have seen before, but it's something that truly makes my heart happy when I see it every day. And I'm going to take you up here onto my landing where I have a small little bear dressed for the fall. He has this little bucket. I wonder what he's going to collect with that bucket. Have some different colored pumpkins in a basket full. And then on this column that I finished to make it look very old, I have another very nice floral arrangement. I hope you like it. You know, the color one that I like to add in my fall arrangements is purple. If you've never thought of doing that, I recommend it. I think it really makes your arrangement sort of stand out. Now, as I go down the stairs here, you can see my love seat with a thrifted quilt and some fall pillows. Here's a little scarecrow on my side table with a ceramic pumpkin. A little stack of pumpkins right there. And there are some of my house plants. Over here in this vintage drawer, might be antique, I'm not quite sure. I bought this in Kansas when my daughter was a baby, when I was living there. I have this cute little girl. She looks like a Hummel, but she's a copy, not a real one. And this little girl praying, isn't she precious? So lovely. Now, on this credenza, which is below my television, I have another piece of transferware. This is really one of my favorites right here. I love that scene. I have a figural teapot. Another owl. And then going over here, a pumpkin and a little cute turkey for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. This plaid throw is actually made of wool. I got it for, you know, like $5 thrifting. It was really quite a bargain. And we'll come over here to the footrest where I have some more orange going on. And this little thrifted table, that's one of my favorites in my house also. I've been collecting these little ducks over time. You may have seen some of them in a thrift haul, but I like grouping them all together. This is my latest one that I just got. Isn't he cute? I really like that for the fall. I almost forgot to share with you the shelf here above my television. I kept up my picture collection there and added some fall leaves, another scarecrow, and a gourd to bring around the fall colors up there as well. So, standing back, here's an overall look of this room. Throws and pillows say fall and winter for me. Do they for you too? Of course, I'm sure you've noticed over the years with my tours that I always like to have lots of throw pillows. I think they're very comfy. So friends, thank you so much for joining me for the fall tour of my home this year, 2025. I'm so glad that you were able to come along with me, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. And if you have any other suggestions for me of things I could do to make my house look even better, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed it, as I said, please give me a thumbs up, and you might consider subscribing to my channel as well. Thank you again for stopping by. This is Mary saying bye for now.